Hey, welcome. Thanks for joining us on the porch. I'm Todd, and joining me is Ken. Ken, how are you?
Buddy, I'm doing great tonight, man. Better than I deserve,
I
I
hear
say.
you. I hear you. Another week in the record books, I guess.
Yeah, it sure is, man. It sure is.
Oh
Sure.
man, yeah. I started a project this weekend. I've had the past 4 days off, and I kind of that old saying. I'm kind of ready to go back to work to get some rest.
Oh
Is
yeah.
very um, very true. I got a question, Ken. I think I might have a problem. I might be a narcissist. I've definitely have an inflated sense of self and high self-esteem because for some reason I thought I could build a TV lift cabinet in like 2 days.
hmm yeah, just keep telling yourself that.
I got 80% of it done, but I think we talked about that before, maybe off air or something. It's like, why do I always like overestimate my abilities and underestimate how much time it's going to take to do
Man,
something?
it always happens that way. It's like I
Yeah.
was telling you, whenever my wife and I talk about doing a project around the house,
Uh,
you know, at first you think, oh yeah, we can do that in the afternoon. Well, no, you need to double it at
yeah.
least double it,
Yeah.
maybe two and a half
Oh yeah.
to be safe, triple it and you're good.
Yeah. I was wanting to surprise Holly took off for some women's conference for her church this weekend. And I was wanting to build it and have it all completely finished and put in our room because it's going to be it's a cabinet with a hidden TV in it that lifts up, out of the top. And I was going to set it at the foot of our bed, and I was going to, have it all done and this and had all these high ideas. And so I started on when she took off Friday afternoon. I started on it, and then I ended up getting about 4 hours sleep. I went to bed like 1:30 Saturday morning and got up at 5:30 and ended up spending 14 hours on it yesterday.
My goodness.
And she was coming home. She came home this morning, so I knew I wasn't going to get it done. So I kind of just had to surprise her with it in the garage, because
hmm
it's too big. It's too big to hide now. And but I don't have that far to go. And since she knows about it, she's a lot better at the finish work, the paint and the stain than I am. So once it's completely assembled, I'll just tag her in on the project and have her.
Okay.
Uh,
So the TV just slides up from
yeah,
you like raise the top and it comes up, raises
there's
up.
a motorized stand that lifts the TV up.
No
Um,
kidding.
yeah, the one I have can lift the TV up to about 5 feet and 8 inches tall.
hmm
And the stand I guess is just probably over 2 feet when it's fully retracted. So it's not too much bigger than a regular like TV stand, but man, it is heavy. Because
Yeah.
of the motor and the gears in there. But yeah, so what I did, instead of just building a box, because I, I haven't found a project I haven't been able to overcomplicate in my life. Instead of just building a box for the TV stand, which if I'd done that, I'd probably been done on Friday. I was like, it needs to be more usable than that. And so I made it a little bit wider, and then I put shelves in it, and then I'm gonna put doors on it, so at least we have a little bit of storage there at the foot of the bed.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, so that way it's
That's
kind of
awesome, man.
yeah,
I I didn't know you had a motor and everything. I thought you was just like, I don't know. I thought maybe some kind of spring hinges or something. You pull it up. It
no,
kind of assists you as you pull it up. I didn't know it was
no,
motorized.
it's motorized. It has a remote. It has a program. You can program the height settings on it. So when you find like the perfect height to watch,
Man,
you can program it. You can program it to that, and then that way you just hit the one button and it just raises up to that perfect
man,
height.
man, you never cease to amaze me, dude. Where do you find something like that? I mean, first of all, how do you find out about that such a thing like that exists, and then where do you find it?
Well,
Like the motor
well,
and all that.
here's my process. Um, First weekend in February, I had to go to Kansas City for the weekend for something with our union, and we've never really had a TV in our bedroom, mainly because there's not been a good place to put one where you can watch it comfortably from lying in bed, and which it didn't bother me because I'm just not a big fan of TVs in the bedroom, But that weekend when we were in Kansas City, we were in our hotel room and we ended up watching a movie, and I was like, "This is kind of nice,"
Mhm.
and
Yeah, sure.
and uh, and so I started thinking, I'm like, "How can we get a TV in the bedroom?" At the foot. I was thinking at the foot of the bed would be ideal because we got one of those adjustable beds, so you can like make it sit up and all that stuff.
Mhm.
But that's just like open floor, and that's like I don't want like put an entertainment center there and just have a TV sitting there all the time. And then when you walk in the bedroom, first thing you see is the back of a TV,
Yeah. Mhm.
So I, I thought surely I've seen TVs like on real fancy houses and stuff like lift up, like on, you
Mhm.
know, like
I
those home shows or whatever,
In
So
motorhomes too. They have them in
yeah.
motorhomes,
So I
they raise
thought,
up.
how much is those TV lift cabinets? So I just Googled that. Like they start at like $3,000.
Oh my goodness.
And I'm like,
Yeah, no.
they're just a box with the thing in it, you know? And, uh, and so I'm like, surely I can build one cheaper than that. So then I just like started Googling about the motors.
Mhm.
I bought it from Home Depot for a couple $100.
Really? Home Depot sells that?
Yeah.
I
So
I had no idea, man.
yeah, I don't know if they sell it in store, but they sell it online,
Hmm.
And so I just bought that. And then, so by the time with the lumber and that thing, I'm going to be in like $450 into it.
Well, that's awesome right there, man.
I'm
No,
not
no
counting
kidding.
I'm not counting the price of the TV because I'd have to buy that anyway,
Mhm.
so it's like
Yeah.
a 25% of the cost. Yeah, it's taken me some time to do it, but not $1,500 worth of time.
Yeah. But you
You-
like doing that stuff though,
yeah,
anyway.
yeah.
You like building things.
I've been chomping at the bit to do something like that anyways. So,
Yeah.
but when I get it all done, I'll post some pictures up for everybody in a little video, of it working.
Yeah,
So,
that's cool. I mean, it really
yeah,
is. I used
yeah.
to build things. My son, whenever he was a baby, we built a baby, but 3 years old, I guess a toddler. Built him that bunk beds that had, you know, a dresser drawer built up under it and everything,
Hmm.
and bookshelves for all his books and toys and everything. All like one whole unit. His whole room was just like one big unit,
Yeah.
and painted it like Buzz Lightyear orange and that chartreuse yellow. And I drew some Buzz Lightyear figurines, out of
Hmm.
just MDF,
Right.
painted them up, screwed them to the wall. It's pretty cool.
That's nice.
There,
Yeah, that's
did
a good
that.
idea. I never thought about doing it out of MDF. You
Yeah,
know,
yeah. MDF is good, man, because it cuts good, and
yeah.
just sands good. Just everything's really smooth
Hmm.
if you're going to paint it.
Yeah.
You
Yeah. I remember years and years ago, um, my mom used to teach like children's church, and she was
Mhm.
doing like some kind of like little series, and she was using Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs as examples. I don't even remember, but she wanted like a cutout, like a bigger size cutout of Snow White and the dwarves and stuff. But
Mhm.
she's not an artist or anything. And a friend of her gave her an idea of buying a like Snow White and Seven Dwarfs coloring book, and then get that transparent, clear uh, paper that you put on like overhead projectors,
Mhm.
and trace it on there, and then put it on an overhead projector, and then trace it on a piece of poster board,
Mm.
and then coloring it in. And that's what she did. And it turned out really good. Each dwarf was like one piece of poster board, and then Snow White was two pieces because she's taller,
Yeah.
But that worked out pretty well
Yeah.
for that, But
Yeah. Yeah. Oh man, at one time it's been years ago, but uh, from my son before he was a toddler,
Mhm.
I whenever he was born, my wife wanted something different for his room for the nursery. She just wanted something different.
Right.
At the time, she didn't even know I could draw. I used to draw a lot whenever I was a kid,
Uh huh.
and so I drew. But I didn't totally freehand. I put the squares, uh, like a scale. I
Uh
got
huh.
a piece of plywood and did a 6 foot tall, no 8 foot tall, big bird on there.
Oh wow.
And then I did a Bert and Ernie, life size, Cookie Monster, all that stuff. Painted them, and like the edges painted black.
Yeah.
They painted them just just from the books, same color, and then just screwed them to the wall.
Mhm.
And so I got started doing that. And then I was going to do I was going to do like a side hustle and do kids rooms.
Yeah.
That same thing. Just put like a white picket fence, where you just screw it to the wall, or just be like white picket fence going down one whole wall. And I did birds and cardinals and bluebirds and just stuff,
Right.
butterflies. Just like it was a garden. Did flowers. You would screw to the wall.
Uh-huh.
I did one or two rooms, and I was just like, yeah, I just don't have time for this.
Yeah.
It's a good idea, but I just didn't have enough time
Yeah.
to do it.
Yeah. Yeah. I thought about that too, man. I would love to like build furniture for people, but I just ain't got the time to do it. And it takes me forever to do it anyway,
Yeah.
so someone would have to really want want to wait for it, you know. And it's one of those things. It's like, yeah, I probably do if it didn't work full time, but
Hmm.
I can't take that plunge right now.
Yeah. It's just a
So,
fun hobby.
yeah,
Fun hobby
it's fun.
for guys like me and you.
Yeah, maybe when I retire, I can make a little side cash or something.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, probably be too tired then.
Yeah. By that
Yeah.
time, there'll be other things you want to do.
Yeah, yeah, be other. Well, there's always something I want to do.
Yeah.
Jumping from one hobby to the next. So,
Yeah. Yeah. I
uh,
know. Yeah. I got into podcasting by
yeah,
the time I retired.
yeah. I still
But
want to get into 3D printing. It's still in the back of my
yeah.
mind.
Yeah. I want you to do that, man. I got some things I'd like for you to make,
I
man. It'd be
know,
pretty
I
cool.
know. I had bought a 3D printer and only printed one thing on it. But the problem is like I bought it to 3D print, not to tinker with the machine.
Mhm.
And that was kind of like a lot of the um, hobby spaces. People love to tinker with those machines, and it's like cool,
Mhm.
but I just want to print junk, you know.
Yeah.
And so I ended up giving it to my um, brother-in-law and his kids because they like doing that stuff and things. And I had got it on sale for like $100, which is pretty cheap. But now that there's a company out there that has a printer that's like pretty much plug and play. You plug it up and then you just print stuff. It automatically sets itself
Really?
up and all this. But
Well, that's
you
what
know,
you need, man.
I do need one, but I don't have what is it, like $500 or $600 to get it. So,
I just let some of those moths out of your wallet, man. Go get
oh
it, dude.
Lord,
You
yeah,
got it.
yeah, yeah, yeah. That's what I need to do. Maybe sell a kid or something. But get
Yeah.
enough. So,
Well, what's that thing that Holly has that she makes her ornaments and stuff? That's not
uh,
a 3D. What is that?
no, it's a laser. It's a laser. I guess it's called a laser printer, laser cutter. It's a
Mhm.
Glowforge is the brand name, but it cuts and can engrave and into wood and um, acrylic, and then it can engrave into some metals. Like she can do like some tumbler engravings and stuff like that on those kind of
Mhm.
cups. Yeah.
Well, those
So
Christmas ornaments that she made for us, I mean, they're pretty darn awesome, man. I love
yeah,
it. And we keep those out all year long.
yeah,
They hang up in the house.
yeah. They're
Keep
nice.
those.
They're
Mhm.
very nice. This she's gotten to use the acrylic and make the Stanley cups are so popular now,
Mhm.
and she's making toppers for those cups. You can get them personalized with like your name on them or grandma or mom or whatever. And then she, since Easter's coming up, she started making them with the little yellow and pink bunny peeps,
Mhm.
shapes. And
Okay.
people are digging those. So
Mhm.
put on
Okay.
their Stanleys. So
Man, do you like peeps, dude? You like
yes,
those?
I do like
I do
peeps.
too. I
But,
know they're like sugar coated marshmallows, man. What's
right,
not to like about them? You
right.
know?
And here's the thing though. Now I like the chicken ones better than the rabbit ones.
Oh, really? I've
And I
never
know
tried
there's no difference but shape, but
I never tried the chicken ones, man.
I've only had the chicken. Well, I've had both of them, but the chicken ones were always the ones those are the ones I always think of when I think of Peeps. And like I said, I know they're the exact same thing. It's just I prefer the chicken ones.
Yeah, yeah. Well, how about I've seen them like Dr. Pepper. Have you tried any of those?
No, I've
Doc
always just gone with the classic yellow chicken ones.
Me
Yeah,
too, man. Well,
yeah,
I like the blue ones, but I don't
yeah.
know if there's any difference
I
in
don't
blue.
know either.
Probably not. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like your favorite M&M's green, but it's like, well, why? Because it's
It,
just like the brown and the blue and the red and the orange.
yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
So
but yeah, I love Peeps. And
yeah,
we're talking about Peeps. Made me think of ice cream when you talking about you was gonna come out and gonna make some ice cream.
uh
This is what I need to do, man, because I love those Little Debbie Christmas trees.
huh.
And have you eaten any of the Little Debbie Christmas tree ice cream?
Yes, that's good stuff.
It is awesome, man.
Yeah.
So what I'm gonna do is make vanilla ice cream, and
Mhm.
then like once it gets frozen, I'm gonna get uh, at the time Little Debbie Christmas trees won't be in season, but it'll be, I don't know. They'll have some kind of cakes that are vanilla, just taste pretty much like
Yeah.
Christmas trees.
Well, they may have some. Uh, Last year and maybe the year before, I think they had some released in July,
Really?
Christmas in July, and they had some
Ooh.
Christmas tree
Oh,
cakes
okay.
out.
Do me a
So
favor. If you see any, grab them
okay.
and holler at me, and then
Uh-huh.
so when you come out in August for the 127,
Uh-huh.
because I want to like make the vanilla ice cream. Then after it's done, take some of those and just crumble them up. Maybe cut them like in fourths or whatever each
Mhm.
one, and put them in there and just mix it up
Yeah.
so it doesn't just disintegrate
Right.
completely. And then just mix it up. Put my sprinkles in there with it at the same time. Mix it all up, and then put the top back on. Let it freeze for a while,
Uh-huh.
and see what our homemade Christmas tree
Cake
ice
ice
cream.
cream. Oh yeah.
Mhm.
That would be good. That would be real
I
good.
I know, wouldn't it? I mean, what could be what could go wrong,
Uh,
man? You
yeah.
got sprinkles, which I like sprinkles on everything.
Yeah.
Sprinkles on everything, and the Little Debbie cakes and the vanilla. I know the ice cream's gonna be good, and the
Mhm.
cake. So I mean, there's nothing that can go wrong,
Yeah.
other
Absolutely.
than we just don't put enough in there, maybe.
Yeah. I hear you. Do you like Reese's peanut butter cups?
Man, I'll eat them, uh, but I like peanut butter. I like peanut butter and jelly,
Mhm.
or I like peanut butter with honey.
Yeah.
But I don't like peanut butter cookies. I mean, I'll eat them because it's a cookie or a piece of candy,
Mhm.
but I really don't care for cookies or candy with peanut butter, but I'll eat them. Don't get me
Mhm.
wrong.
Well, you sound a lot like me as far as Reese's peanut butter cups. It's like I don't seek them out to eat them, but if someone like wants to give me one, I'll eat it.
Hmm.
They just came out with this Reese's peanut butter cup, big cup caramel. It's like a thicker peanut butter cup, and it's got a layer of caramel in it.
Hmm.
And the girl's wife and my two daughters are big Reese's peanut butter cup fans, monstrous. They love them, and they were wanting to try these Reese's big caramel big cups. I think they advertised in Super Bowl or
Hmm.
something.
Yeah, I
Couldn't
remember
find them
seeing that.
anywhere. Couldn't find them anywhere. But the gas station I stop at like every day on my route to get something to drink and stuff, they had them in there. So I bought, 3 of them for them to try. And Holly's like, "You want a bite?" And I took a bite. Don't ever take a bite. They are fantastic.
Are they addictive?
They are. They
Really?
are. And I'm almost afraid to admit how many times I've stopped on my mail route to get me a package of them. And
Oh man,
I'm not a big Reese's peanut butter cup fan, but
yeah.
for some reason that caramel just sets it off.
Just put it over the top, huh?
Yeah.
Oh
So,
my goodness.
yeah.
Mm, I can see that. And as I said a while ago, I don't really like them, but I'll eat them. Well, Mary, in the center of our island, we have this glass, like a big candy bowl or a
Uh-huh.
jar. It's a big jar, and well, actually, it looks like a big giant martini glass is what it looks like,
Yeah.
but that's a candy jar. And Mary brought home some Reese's Easter eggs in the
Yep.
shape of Easter eggs,
Mhm.
and she put them in there, and there was like 8 of them she put in there.
Yeah.
Dude, I ate like 6 of them before she could even get one. She goes back in there looking for them. There's like 2 left. I'm like, "What happened to all the Reese's?" I
I
don't
tell
know.
I
I
tell
have
you
no idea.
I tell you at Christmas time they come out with Reese's little nutcracker shaped Reese's.
Mm-hmm.
And those are by far and away the best because the ratio to peanut butter and chocolate is perfect. And
So
so,
you think that actually changes because with these eggs,
uh,
I like the taste of that a little better than just a regular Reese's cup.
are you
It
talking
seems
about the
like.
bigger eggs? Like,
No, uh these were about 3, 4 inches long, maybe, and
yeah,
maybe 2 inches wide,
yeah,
something like that.
yeah, yeah. Those are more peanut butter than chocolate, best I remember. And but something about these little Nutcracker Reese's around the holidays is the peanut butter chocolate ratio is spot on. It's more
Mm,
chocolate than peanut butter, but man, they're good.
mm.
But
I don't think I've ever tried those.
yeah, I always say that candy bars are better in like the fun size anyway. It's like the small ones are always better. I think it's the ratio of all the good stuff is better.
Yeah.
So
Man, I love candy, dude. I wish you wouldn't get fat from it.
yeah, I wish candy had the nutritional properties of broccoli. You know,
Yeah.
we'd all
Yeah.
be better people.
Mhm.
You
Be
know,
thinner anyways.
yeah, definitely would. You know, it's like, yeah, why is something got to taste so good be so bad for you?
Man, little Debbie stepped their game up, man.
They have,
'Cause
well,
'cause
because
if you notice,
oh
for
yeah,
every holiday,
uh-huh,
they're constantly changing
yeah,
the stuff they're putting out there. In Chattanooga, actually, it's in Ottawa, which is just right outside of
uh-huh,
Chattanooga. I got to go there, man, because there's Little Debbie's is made there in
uh-huh,
Ottawa, but they say it's Chattanooga, but they're made there, and they have a Little Debbie Park right there
yeah,
next to the plant, and it's got like a 6 foot Little Debbie cake out there just in the park. Just stand up and you go have your picture made and
yeah,
all that kind of stuff. It's just kind of silly, but I like it, man. I'm gonna
yeah.
go there, dude.
Oh, I've always been a big fan of Little Debbie from their oatmeal cream pies to their, man, when I was in elementary school, a fudge round used to be breakfast for me, you know,
Mhm.
and, like the brownies and all. I love all that Little Debbie stuff. And they have stepped up their game because like freaking Hostess has completely dropped the ball.
Mhm.
I used to be a big Hostess fan, and I actually here a few weeks ago bought a pack of Ding Dongs
Mhm.
because they were like my favorite of
Yeah.
favorites. They were so nasty. It's like
Yeah.
these aren't what I grew up with.
No. Somebody had told me they actually changed because they
Mhm.
used to be wrapped in aluminum foil. You remember that?
Yeah, I remember that. But even when they went to like being wrapped in plastic, they were still good. But
Mhm.
they're like flatter, and they just don't. Something's not right with them at all.
Somebody got greedy and yeah, we can
Yeah,
change 'em a little bit and make a little more money and
yeah,
people still buy them. But nope. Little Debbie had something to say about
yeah,
that.
yeah,
Now, how about Tasty Cake though? Because whenever we went to Atlanta, we
yeah.
were coming back through Crossville, and you said there's a Tasty Cake place over there, and
Hmm.
I really never paid attention to Tasty Cake, but I guess they make them there because I started looking at Walmart. Man, they have a whole section of Tasty Cake stuff
Tasty
that I've never
cakes,
even.
Tasty cakes have the best fruit pie or pie, like
Mhm.
the old Hostess style pies. They make it like the old school Hostess ones. Them
Okay,
cherry pies. Their cherry pies are fantastic.
I'm gonna have to
And
try those.
and I like Tasty Cakes. I'm a little bit mad at Tasty Cakes because they used to have a ding dong like they used to have a ding dong like cake called a bell,
Mhm.
and that thing was spectacularly good. Like the chocolate on it was wonderful. They quit making them.
Hmm. Wonder what happened.
I don't know. I guess I was the only person eating them. I don't know,
Maybe
but
so.
they every time I like, hey, try it. Someone come over, hey, try this. And everybody's like, that's really good. And it's like, yeah, they quit making the bells, and I'm like, what the heck? That was the best thing. That
Hmm.
was the best thing. But
Yeah.
yeah, I like tasty cakes. I think they're pretty good. Their pies are outstanding, and the bells were outstanding too. But for whatever reason, they're gone.
Yeah.
you
Oh
know.
well. Things change, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nothing like a fat guy complaining about what snake cakes aren't available anymore.
Yeah. And another fat guy agreeing with you.
You know?
Hey, man, let's see. I was going to read you something here about the 127. Keep talking, man. Let me find
Already.
it. It went away.
Yeah.
Because
But
last week we talked about the 127 yard sale.
uh-huh.
Oh, here it is. We mentioned that,
Yep.
and I thought it might have been the world's largest, but I wasn't sure.
Hmm.
We knew it was the largest in the country, but so I looked it up, and no, the 127 yard sale. And it says it's an annual event that takes place the first Thursday through Sunday in August of each year, and it is literally the world's longest yard sale. So
Wow.
that was right. The route spans 6 states: Michigan, Ohio, Kentucky, Tennessee, Georgia, and Alabama, and is 690 miles long.
Wow.
And the unique event draws hundreds of thousands of people. So how about that?
Yeah, it is. It's fantastic.
Yeah,
So at 690 miles, we'll have 4 days. So
right, buddy.
so we need to cover like 170 something miles a day, you know. So
Buddy, that would be tough to do, man. Let me tell you. I mean,
better shop fast.
just think driving the whole route. How long
Yeah.
would that take? I wonder how long it would take just drive it.
607, basically 700 miles. You could probably knock that out in a day just if you drove straight through. Be like a
Wouldn't it
12-hour day, I would think.
be a
14
long
hours.
day,
It
man?
would be a long day, but
Yeah, but you
I
wouldn't be
can.
able to see it at night, though. You'd have to stop somewhere and get up at sunrise the next morning.
Right, right. Because I know I can make it to Denver in 12 hours from here. I'm not sure how far that is. About halfway to California. California is 1,200 miles. You
But you're
know.
going down the freeway.
Yeah, yeah. Just
It's a
driving
back
that
road.
distance. Yeah, to
I mean,
drive those back roads. Yeah,
there's no telling the roads, because the roads that come down from Kentucky to Jamestown
hmm,
goes that Pall Mall, Tennessee, and it's
yeah,
just windy and
yeah,
it's very windy and crooked. And
yeah, yeah,
fun road on a motorcycle, but kind of get motion sick in the car if you're not careful.
yeah, yeah. You could. Yeah, if you're driving those back roads, I imagine a couple days will get you all the way through.
Mm-hmm.
You
Yeah.
know, so unless you start lollygagging or loafing, you know.
Mhm.
So,
Well, speaking of that 127, man, my buddy Jeff.
uh-huh.
Hey, Jeff, you're listening. How you doing, man?
Hey, Jeff.
He's Jeff has him and his wife has a booth in the 127,
Oh,
and so he was buying stuff, and I went with him yesterday. He bought a couple booths from this antique mall. This guy was kind of going out of business. He went and bought all the stuff. Went and helped him load it up. Man, he had all kinds of cool stuff there,
yeah,
and bought a couple. And I need to tell you about him. I went to his house. The guy that he bought the stuff from.
yeah.
We went to his house in Crossville. It was about 30 minutes away, I guess. And he lives out in the country. And man, he had all these barns behind his house. You would have died. Man, American Pickers would have a heyday there. He had all kinds of stuff. And it wasn't just junked up where you couldn't see it. It was,
Uh-huh.
you could see everything. I mean, it was piled in there. Don't get me wrong. You have to get
Yep.
in there and snoop around and dig, but you could see everything. The barn wood, the old barn doors, the old house doors, the
Oh my goodness.
old, electric trolling motors from the 40s, antique tractors. It just goes on and on. Big antique light switches that were they were literally like 6 inches tall, the light switch.
Oh
It
wow.
was, it was great. It just like, I don't know, it had to be from the 40s, maybe
Yeah.
30s, probably 30s or so. I don't know. It's like they weren't really sure how big they needed to build the light switch. So they just made it giant,
Yeah, people
Just
afraid to
imagine
get too close.
just imagine the toggle that you see now,
Uh-huh.
in the little box. I mean, make that like 8 times bigger. It was
Oh,
giant. But
oh
anyways,
my goodness.
just old stuff, just it was crazy, that stuff. But it was cold, and Jeff and I didn't really, we were kind of cold and we were ready to go, and it was kind of misty, kind of a funky day. But I would love to go back there
Oh
and
yeah.
just look around. He had all kinds of stuff out in his yard. He had all these old antique tractors. Well, not a lot of them. I don't know. There was 2 or 3, 4. I don't know.
Yeah.
Those
Yeah.
old ones that had the steel wheels on them.
Oh yeah.
Old John Deere, and I don't know. He had some I don't know what it was, a paddy wagon or something out there. He had 2 or 3 old vehicles. He just had all. It's just very interesting to look around. If that's the kind of stuff that you like, it was fantastic.
Oh yeah, it definitely. Me and Holly Thursday afternoon ended up at a couple antique stores here locally, and a new one had just opened up. And we walked in to check it out, and the lady's like, she asked, working the counter, she's like, anything you're looking for? And I said, well, do you have a big pile of junk I can dig through? You know?
Where's your throwaway stuff? That's what we're
Yeah,
at.
it's like, oh, look at all the stuff that's displayed is cool, but I'd just like to find a big pile of junk,
Mm,
and dig through it and see if I can find anything. So,
yeah.
but she didn't.
You find it? Didn't find anything?
No, we didn't find anything this time around. We just kind of was just killing some time, and
Mm,
stuff. And I found some cool albums, some cool records, uh, like old soundtracks, like from one was from like Clockwork Orange, and the other I can't remember the other. I want to say maybe was it the Freshman with Dustin Hoffman, or the Graduate? The Graduate.
graduate. Okay.
Freshman
Yeah.
was what's his name from Ferris Bueller? Stay off. I can't think
Well,
of his name.
that's a movie I can't watch, dude.
Oh.
Anyway, that's another story. But go ahead.
But uh, but I just passed on them.
Mhm.
I don't want to buy a Clockwork Orange. People think I'm weird and demented or something.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So, but yeah, they had some cool Neil Diamond stuff, but I probably should have picked up or something. But I just sometimes you're in the mood to buy it, sometimes you're not, I guess. So
Man, I forgot. Does Holly collects those books, those little golden books?
yeah, she goes, yeah, those little golden books.
What does she do with those? She just collects them and tries to get them all, or
Um,
what's the deal with that? Or she use them?
some of them she likes to keep, but a lot of them she makes these things called junk journals where
Mhm,
you take like old cool looking books and you pull them apart and then you put them together all together,
mhm,
and you make like places to journal at, and then you make all these like little secret pockets to put little pieces of paper or folding things. It's really hard to explain till you see it, and it's really cool. People really like it, because it's kind of
mhm.
got this cool aesthetic to it, kind of like a hodgepodge of all this stuff that it all goes together and matches, but you wouldn't think about it till you saw it all put together,
Right.
and she'll do like all this cool like leather stitching and all this stuff and things,
Mhm.
and so she does that with a lot of them. But some of them she just likes to have because they're cool and old, so.
Well, I forgot that, and then because I just remembered Jeff had in that booth he bought. It's like a little golden book, but it was like I don't even know what it was.
Hmm.
It was a summary of all the books or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
It was really really thick, but it was a little golden book. But it
Yeah.
was a big book though. But the title was Little
Yeah.
Golden Book. I don't know what it was.
Yeah. I,
I
I,
have to
I
look at it
I
again and
can't,
see.
I can't remember. I know on those golden books, they have the gold like binding on them on the spine there,
Hmm.
but they also come in like silver and blue and maybe another color. And those colors mean something. I think it depends on like which edition of the print is or something like that.
Hmm.
I used to know,
Right.
but I can't remember now. Um,
Yeah.
but it's like, oh, that does mean something, you know?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Well, man, this is something. Jeff was nice enough. Jeff bought me lunch for helping him, but he
oh,
also,
that's always good.
yeah, I know. We went and had sushi, man. It was great.
Oh,
But
nice.
but also he gave me a couple things here that I took a fancy to. Talking about albums, and this is the one I'll put it up here so anybody watching on
Yeah.
YouTube you can see it here.
Oh, yeah. Sentimental Journey, 80 original hits of the 40s. That's
Yeah, and
awesome.
it's a collection of vinyls, and this was one of those Reader's Digest, and it comes with it's got 7 albums in there.
Oh, wow.
But it's cool because my wife and I we like movies from like the 40s, like World War II movies.
Uh huh.
That era.
Yeah.
There's a whole genre of movies, and my wife likes to read those books from
Yeah.
that era.
Yeah.
I don't know, just something nostalgic, but this is going to be cool because that's what this is during that era. I mean, there's Bing Crosby on there, uh, the Andrews sisters. There's Tommy Dorsey, Glenn Miller, And I don't know who these other two ladies are here on the cover, right here on the front. I don't know who the other two
Yeah.
are, but
Yeah. That's not you
I,
talking about
I,
the up at the top middle or
yeah, I don't know who this lady is, and
uh-huh.
then the lady at the top in the center.
Oh, that um that's not
There's
oh
there's the Andrews sisters right here.
yeah, that's Andrew's sisters. That wouldn't be oh, I can't think of her name now. Played Dorothy in The Wizard of Oz and Meet Me in St. Louis. Um oh, what's her name?
Oh,
Dagummit.
uh-oh.
I want to say Crystal Gale, but I know that's completely wrong.
Crystal Gale. It wouldn't be.
What is her
Crystal
name?
Gale that's
My
Loretta
mind,
Lynn's sister.
yeah, my mind's going. She played Dorothy in The Wizard of Oz, and then she was in Meet
Yeah.
Me in St. Louis and sung the first rendition of "Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas." I know her name; it's on top of my, it's on top of my tongue, but I refuse to Google it. No, I'm googling it.
And I need. Man, that is no, that's not Doris Day.
Um,
I don't know. I have to look and see who all these people are on here, but there's all kinds of people on here.
that's not
Yeah,
Rosemary Clooney. That other one, is it? Judy Garland's who
very
I'm
well.
thinking of. Judy Garland.
Judy Garland. There you go.
Is that her?
I don't know, man. I'm thinking more Rosemary Clooney actually
Yeah.
on here, but it could be Judy Garland. I don't know.
Yeah, I think that might be Judy Garland at the top there.
But the albums are like in perfect shape, man. I don't know if they've ever even been played.
Oh wow, that's awesome.
Isn't it great?
That is awesome. Yeah,
And then I got
that's a find.
this. Yeah, it is, and he just gave it to me, so it was very nice. Thank you. But then this right here, because I like Christmas, and this is a book written 1961, and it's the night before Christmas and Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, all in the same book, and it's got all that vintage artwork and stuff in there. It's just pretty cool. It's just neat, man. It was actually where they signed it, and there's somebody giving it to somebody, the Williams family. They get somebody's whole family got this for Christmas.
Oh, that's awesome.
1961. But anyway,
yeah,
that was just something that I was really interested in. Thought it was cool.
Yeah. Some of our friends from the West Coast have hopped in. Ernie and Doug from Pepper Tree Villa. So hey guys.
Yeah, there they are.
Yeah.
What's up, fellas?
Yeah.
How y'all doing tonight?
They happen to like Christmas as well, Ken. So.
Okay. I believe it.
I do too. Good guys over there.
Yep.
But yeah, it's that's some good moving gifts. You could help somebody move a lot for stuff like that.
Man, he bought this. It was two whole booths there, and gosh, what else did he have? A lot of bottles, a lot of I don't know, man. I forget. It was so much stuff in there.
Yeah,
it's all run together now. But
yeah, I went down.
He's gonna have all this stuff, or most of it, in the 127 yard sale.
Yeah.
He we divided it up into one pile was for the 127, and then another one was for just having a regular yard sale.
Yeah,
all the unique and the older stuff was for the 127.
Oh yeah,
it was pretty cool. You're gonna have some good stuff.
I went down this rabbit hole a few weeks ago of looking for old soda advertisements, and then it led to like candy advertisements, and there's some really cool signs out there, and they're all really expensive as they should be, and there's some really cool, well done like reproductions as well. It's just the reproductions aren't as big,
Right.
And I was wanting to really decorate the background and stuff with them, and so, but all the reproductions are like paper size, like a piece of paper. It's like that's too small. I need something bigger. But I about pulled the trigger on a few pieces, and but cooler heads prevailed.
Well, man, you will go absolutely bonkers at the 127. Yeah. There are so many of those signs everywhere, man. People come from all over the country and bring those things here.
Yeah.
You will go nuts.
They will be. I was looking for some Mountain Dew has been something like my favorite soda since forever. And
Mm-hmm.
so I was looking for some old classic Mountain Dew advertising and stuff.
Oh yeah.
And a lot of it was the old Mountain Dew when they had the hillbilly advertising, which is cool. But I like the
Oh
old,
yeah.
yeah. But I like the old like 70s and 80s logo, kind of like the one back up behind me,
Mm-hmm.
and because that's the one I remember um, when more when I was a kid. Yeah, Arnie and Doug said they've been working a jigsaw puzzle full of those signs. I think I've seen that. That is a very cool puzzle.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, did I tell you I went to a puzzle warehouse in St. Louis? I think I told
You,
you off camera. I don't know if I mentioned it
yeah,
here or not.
you mentioned it, but you didn't tell me
Yeah,
what you actually found there.
yeah. Well, I didn't realize they had it up there, and I stumbled across it somehow on the internet. Told my sister about it. She's like, "We got to go," so we like took a day trip up there, and man, it was cool. It was all like laid out by brand and pieces and all this, and there were so many. And Ken, you would love it. They had a 24,000 piece puzzle there.
Oh yeah, I would love that, man.
Yeah,
Give me two of those.
it was like
Give me those things.
it was like it was like 3 feet by 6 feet or something when it was all put together.
Oh my gosh, where would you
Yeah,
work something like that?
I don't know, but they had one and to buy, and they also had one worked and glued together and hanging on the wall. And it went from like ocean and fish, and as you went to top, you got land and animals and people, and then some cities and jungle, and then you had like clouds and suns and moons, and then outer space. You know,
Hmm.
and it was
Yeah.
just like it's like how it's like, do they come like in uh uh and then there's I don't know if it comes like in individual bags of sections or if it just comes all in one big.
Man, just separating that
Yeah,
with getting all the pieces turned over with
yeah,
the right side up that'd be a job
yeah,
in itself right there.
yeah.
That'd be a wonderful
That
job.
would be. That would be. They're asking, is there a jigsaw puzzle company in St. Louis? I don't know if there's a company, but this puzzle warehouse is a retail place. And I actually talked with one of the ladies there. And for those that listen to Christmas Clatter, they might be coming on board and doing something with the puzzle giveaway or the puzzle exchange. But yeah, it's like me and Holly worked that 3,000 piece puzzle. And that was a chore. I couldn't imagine doing a puzzle that's 6 times as big.
No, there's no
you,
way.
you-
I mean, you'd have to have like either a huge house or your whole living room would have to
yeah.
be dedicated to that thing.
How much do you think a 24,000 piece puzzle would cost you, Ken?
Mm, man, I don't know, dude. It'd have to be a couple $100, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it was $280,
280. Okay.
which I didn't think was terrible. I mean, it's still good money, but you could definitely get $280 worth of fun and frustration out of that. you know?
Oh, yeah, it'd be a lot of. Could you imagine getting down to the end with that many pieces and then like,
Oh.
oh man, there's 2 pieces missing.
You're going to have to constantly do
horrible.
piece inventory, and you're going to have what you'd have to do is like, I was thinking you just have to like put on like a Tyvek suit and go into a room that the only thing in there is the puzzle, and then work it, and then as you come out, you have to take your Tyvek suit off and shake it out to make sure you don't have any puzzles stuck in your sweater pocket.
Yeah, tell them about what happened to the old sweater pocket
Oh, yeah.
paper.
Like I said, we worked that 3,000 that 3,000 piece puzzle, and we get to the end and there's a piece missing, and we took probably a month to work this thing, and it's just like, oh my gosh, a piece is missing. And it was one we're going to glue and frame and hang up in Holly's office and this, and we're like, whatever. We just took it apart and put it back in the box, and then we did look for the piece quite heavily, but it's like it's been out for so long, who knows when it came up missing. And Holly has a sweater she wears a lot when it's cool outside, and it's got the pockets are up in the front of the sweater and they kind of gape open. And she was like wearing it through the house like a week or 2 weeks after we put the puzzle up, and she stuck her hand in her pocket. She's like, "What's this?" And she pulls out the puzzle piece that was missing.
Man,
And
that's
I'm like,
terrible.
we need to put it back together now. And she's
That's
like,
right.
no,
We'll start with
no.
this piece.
Yeah.
Man,
eh,
man, my mom and my dad, they work puzzles, and
Yeah.
my mom got mad because she kept. My mom got mad because she would work the puzzle, and she would just by herself pretty much. And she would get down to like the last 30 pieces or something
Uh-huh.
and leave it, maybe 30 or 40 pieces. And she would go somewhere and then come back. And my dad had sat down there and finished it before she get back. And he did that 2 or 3 times. And finally she said, okay, you have your puzzles, I have my puzzles. So they have 2 separate puzzle tables, man, that
Yeah.
they work their puzzles on now.
Yeah. Yeah. We have we won't do that unless there's sometimes where I'm like working like 90% of the puzzle and Holly's
Mhm.
either not interested in the puzzle or got too busy to join in. I'll finish that one, but if it's something we're both working on, we'll wait,
Mhm.
and stuff. But
I need to eat a couple gummies or something and try to work a puzzle because, my family is competitive, man. And
yeah,
when it comes to something like that, my wife is very task oriented, and so is
yeah,
my son. You know what he does
yeah,
for a living, so he's very, very task oriented.
yeah.
So on Christmas Eve, the only puzzle that we've ever worked together as a family, we tried it. So we started like 2 or 3 days before Christmas.
Uh,
We set it right in front of the fireplace, and it's like, this is going to be fun. So we start working this, and it's like, by the time we got down to the end, it's like nobody is leaving this room till this blanky blank puzzle is done. We're like, okay, every 10 minutes we say switch, so everybody switch chairs, just move to the right one, so you get a
yeah,
different different view, and that worked because every time we'd switch, it's like, okay, here's one, here's one, here's one, just get a different angle at the
hmm,
puzzle.
yeah,
But it was stressful, man. I mean, we were like red faced and stressing and just like there was our life depended on it. It's like, okay, this is not as fun as everybody lets on the
yeah,
for, but I can see where it could be, you know.
yeah.
And I said, art and them, does art work puzzles?
I'm
Is
not
he a
sure if he
puzzler?
does or doesn't. I'm not 100% sure.
I think he mentioned it.
He seems like a
Well,
puzzler to me.
yeah. Well, I know Doug and Arnie
Yeah.
do because they've talked about it. But I sent them a picture, Doug and Arnie. Now I sent them a picture at the Forbes General Store. Did you go to the Forbes General Store when you was here last time?
Is that where we ate fish?
I can't remember. Is that the place that had the ice cream or not?
I can't remember that either.
I forget which one we went to. But anyways, in the back there, they have a table where it's like a community puzzle. It's pretty
Uh-huh.
cool. You can go there and hang out, sit down and work the puzzle for a while. It's just an old store built in like the
Yeah.
late 1800s, I think.
Yeah. I
Pretty
used
cool.
I used to
But
deliver.
I sent them a picture of it.
Yeah. I used
You
to
know.
deliver to this retirement home years ago, and there was always a couple people in there, same guy and lady in there that lived there working puzzles. And
Mhm.
as I'd come through, and what they did is they'd put them together, glue them, and then once a year they had like some kind of fundraiser where they'd sell the puzzles as part of it. And um, I'd have to walk through there to deliver to the office. And so I'd stop and chat with them, and I wouldn't leave until I found a piece and put it in its spot, you know.
Yeah.
And sometimes it went pretty quick, and other times, it took me a minute or two. I never hung around for like hours or anything, but yeah,
Mhm.
it was always fun. But yeah, Arnie said something about the Dream Book coming up in April. Yeah, I can't wait for that either. See what it's going to be. Hopefully, I'll have to wait so long to get mine.
Man, is it too late for me to do that? The
No,
dream book. Can
no.
I still? How does that work exactly?
Um, yeah, you talking about the Keepsake Ornament Club?
Yeah. Can I get
Yeah,
in that? Still?
yeah. I'll send you the link, and then you
Okay.
just sign up, and then they'll send you when it comes out, they'll send you the box and all that stuff, and
Mhm.
it's like $60, but they send you all kinds of coupons, if you go to Hallmark a lot and you use the coupons, you'll save more money than the cost of the club. Um, but the box itself is worth it because the stuff in it's probably valued at more than that.
Yeah.
And then you get the dream book, and then you can fill out that wish list. Of course, anybody can get the dream book and fill out the wish list. You don't be a member of the club, but you get early access, to the ornaments like a day early. And then you fill out that wish list of the ones you want, and then your Hallmark store will hold those back for you when they come in,
Okay.
and it's first come, first serve. So if you're like the 13th person and, that turned theirs in and they only get 10 of the ornament you wanted, that you just kind of out of luck because they give it to the first 10 people that wanted them,
Okay.
which could be you at number 13 if a few people ahead of you didn't want it, So that's kind of the way that works.
Well, I need to do that this year because whenever y'all are doing the unboxing and all that, I always feel left out. Cause,
Yeah.
I like looking at them, but I've never really get to pull.
It's a cool box, and I just enjoy it I use some of the coupons, but I'm just not I don't keep track of them like I should. And but to me, just the box itself, and then you also get a premium copy of the dream book with like better paper, and all kinds of stuff. So
yeah,
I'll send you that link. It's really cool. It's really cool.
I'm gonna do it this year. I've been putting it off.
Yeah, they love that general. Yeah, Arnie and Doug say they love that general store. They know they spend a lot of money there.
Yeah, man, they got so much cool stuff there.
Oh,
It's called Forbus, Forbus General Store, and I'm sure you can Google it. And they got a website and all that. But it's really cool. Built in the late 1800s, and they still got an old potbelly stove they actually use to heat the place. It's really cool. Yeah, you go in there and it has that slight smell of a wood fire, not overpowering anything. But they have good food there. They really do. They have a grill, and I don't know if that's where I don't think that's where I think we went to York Country Store.
Yeah.
Where they had the pig tournament.
I think so. Where they did the karaoke.
Yes. That was the York. No, this other one is, I like it a lot better. The Forbuses.
Yeah. They allowing you back in there after I sang karaoke?
Yeah. They don't remember, man.
Okay, good.
They don't remember.
Yeah, that's funny. But yeah, do you know who invented the potbelly stove?
No.
Benjamin Franklin.
Did he?
Yeah.
Man, old Ben Franklin, he had his hands in a lot of things, didn't he?
Yeah, he did.
He did a lot of things.
In fact, he invented it because like behind childbirth, the number one killer of women was burning to death from like cooking over fireplaces and fires and stuff. And so he invented the potbelly stove, so they could, basically took that out of the equation. In fact, he didn't even patent it; he just left it for everybody because he's like, it's too important to hold down the market on it. So
I know when I was a kid, a couple of years old, my grandparents had one of those, and I remember this to this day, man. I walked up, didn't know any better, and stuck my hand right on that, and it was so hot. Didn't take me long to feel of it, I mean, it just made my hand blister. It didn't like pull any skin off or anything. I just touched it real quick, but it was so hot. Gosh, I remember that.
Yeah, I remember being at my aunt and uncle's, like in January sometime, probably around the first of the year. It seems like it was New Year's thing. We had snow on the ground. It was so cold, and they had their front door and their back door wide open because they had a stove in the middle. They had like an open floor plan house, and they had a wood stove right in the middle. And that thing was so hot that they had to open both doors to kind of regulate the temperature.
Yeah. Okay.
So it was really cool.
Being cold.
Yeah, definitely. But it wasn't that big of a stove either. It wasn't like one of the big cast iron looking things or anything. It was a little bitty, almost looked miniature size, but man, it put out the heat. So.
Yeah. There's all different sizes of them.
Yeah.
Man, talking about the potbelly stove being at my grandparents' house. Man, they lived out in the country. Did I ever tell you about that? About that time I got flogged by that rooster out there?
I don't think so.
It was long. I was like 3 or 4 years old. I remember. I wasn't very tall, but out behind their house, they had roosters and chickens and all that stuff. They had one rooster that was mean, and they had a well out there. Like you go out back and you pump the well to get water. And I was out there by that, and that rooster jumped on me and flogged me. And what's that? That's when they grab a hold of you and just start flapping their wings,
Yeah.
And it scared me to death, man. I took off running. That's when I discovered that I was pretty darn fast. That's one of the times when you don't run as fast as you want to. You run, I mean, as you can, you run as fast as you want to. Because I ran all the way back to the house, and that rooster was behind me, and I left him in the dust. And I remember looking back, and that rooster looked like a pterodactyl or something behind me. He was the same height as I was, screaming all the way to the porch. And
oh man,
my granny opened the door, and I just went running right in the house. That rooster was all over me, man.
I always like those videos of people that think they're going to like pet the geese at the park.
Geese can be mean.
They are mean, hands down. I generally don't stereotype, but geese are mean.
They are. Geese are mean, especially like this time of year. Because I told you, I talked about last week, they were pairing up and making their nest, around the lake. Dude, you get anywhere near their nest, and they let you know about it.
Oh yeah,
we're near. They'll start like walking towards you to keep you away from
like
them.
sons of T-Rex or something, when they go around. But I remember one time as a kid, I was at my mom's cousin's farm, and they had all kinds of animals there. And there was like one goat that kept, I might have been kindergarten, first grade. And one goat kept like wanting to try to chew on my shorts, summertime, and I had shorts on, and he kept wanting to chew on my shorts. And I like, get away from him. And he'd come up. Before I know it, I try to walk. He's chewing on the back of my shorts. So after about 3 or 4 times, I'm like, I just had it in my head. I'm like, I'm going to teach this goat a lesson. So I balled up my fist and hit him right between the eyes.
What? Did you?
He didn't even know it at all. I hurt my hand so bad.
Man, no kidding. On the goose?
No, on a goat.
Oh, the goat. Oh, gosh. I was still thinking geese. Yeah.
It was on a goat.
Did he retaliate?
No, he kept chewing on my shorts. I don't think he even knew I hit him. Hit so stinking hard.
It's kind of like those guys that you ever seen them where they punch the kangaroos when kangaroos grab their dogs.
Yeah.
Punch them in the face.
Yeah. That ain't good. That ain't smart. Kangaroos will tear you up.
Man, when you see a kangaroo, they're pretty terrifying looking. When they have the claws and their arms are big and their shoulders, it looks like a man standing there with claws.
And they'll stand on the back on their tail and kick you with both their feet.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then they punch. I seen 2 kangaroos get in a fight at the zoo. It was like a boxing match. It was.
Man, I bet that was quite entertaining.
It was.
You were talking about the goats. Mary, my wife Mary, she is going to be starting goat yoga. There's this place up here called Nirvana Farms. Yep, geese are mean.
Geese are mean.
But yeah, it's called Nirvana Farms, and this lady has goat yoga, where you go there and you do your stretching. And the little goats jump up on your back or whatever. Yeah, so she's gonna be doing that, starting that soon.
I've heard of that. For some reason, when I hear that, I always think, "What if the goat poops on me?"
Yeah, well, maybe he won't.
That's just maybe the way I'm wired, So. Yeah.
But yeah, she thinks it's going to be fun, and it probably will be.
It probably will. I bet I could see where like the goats are like heavy enough and their hooves pointy enough to like that would feel good. They're not too heavy. It's like Taylor right now. She's like at that size. Like if I laid on the ground and had her walk on my back, it would feel good. But any of my other kids, it would not feel good.
You'd be going to the hospital.
Or just dead. I'd just be dead.
Yeah. Your rib broke and punctured your lung.
Yeah. So I can see goats kind of being that that good size for that. Yeah.
Yeah. But I think they use the small ones. I don't think they're like the full grown
I ain't got no big like
adult ones.
big old rams in there. That would be
No.
ram
Yeah.
noodle.
Right. No. No, baby goats, man, it's the happiest thing in the world. Have you ever seen them? Little baby goats, they're
Oh
running
yeah.
out,
Yeah.
running around jumping and kicking sideways, and
Yeah.
that's like the happiest thing there is,
Yeah.
man.
What,
I don't think little baby goats ever have a bad
yeah.
day.
Which goats are the best? The goats that scream or the goats that faint?
I don't know. I would love to have a fainting goat, Toby. I just stay amused all the time. Those are the funniest things, aren't they?
They are funny.
I would like to. So, if there was like a whole herd of these fainting goats out there, say there's 20 of them, if you screamed real loud, would all 20 of them fall down?
I don't know.
Or
Now I want
just
to go
one or two?
YouTube fainting goat videos.
Fainting, yeah, fainting goat herds. See if if 20 of them fall at once. Would that be funny?
That would be great.
Or like cow tipping. Is cow tipping a real thing?
You could take people cow tipping, but I doubt you tip over a cow.
I just wondered if it was a real thing.
I've tried it.
Have you?
Yeah, it's kind of one of those kind of like. Do you ever heard of snipe hunting?
Oh yeah, I've heard of snipe
Okay,
hunting.
it's kind of along the lines of snipe hunting.
Oh, is
You
it?
take someone that's never been before and you have them run full steam ahead into the side of a cow.
Mm.
If the cow's like doesn't hear you and move, it's like running into a brick wall. You know.
Yeah.
So,
Oh my goodness.
yeah. You ain't tipping. You ain't tipping no cow. You know.
Okay. I didn't
Yeah.
know that. I've never
Yeah. So
tipped any cows.
yeah, most of the time they get out of the way anyway. They're not that heavy of a sleeper.
Mm.
You know, but every once in a while you can catch one that doesn't move, and it's because you're not going to do anything to make it move. So
it's like what was that? Oh gosh, what was that movie where the guy he went in the barn to milk the cow and he comes out to tell the Quaker or the Mennonite, I forget which he was. He said, "I milked your cow for you," and he said, "We don't have a cow. The bull's in there."
oh, was that Son-in-Law with Pauly Shore?
Was that what it was?
It was it. It seems like that was what
It
it
was.
was.
I can't remember now. I just remember that.
Yeah.
Get out.
Yeah.
He said, "We don't have a cow. We have a bull. We have a bull in there."
Reminds me of
like, no.
reminds me. Years ago, we went to the state fair, to the Illinois State Fair in Des Moines, and walking through the livestock and all that. And my sister's like, "Look at the udders on that cow," and my mom looks and she's like, "That's a bull."
Okay.
It's like,
Some awful big udders.
yep, definitely so.
The coin, man, you're the first person I've ever heard. We have some friends that's from Illinois, and they go to the coin. Amelia Eisenhower, she usually sings the national anthem. They had that big what's that called?
Big streetcar nationals.
No, the Thrasherman show.
Okay,
Have you ever heard that?
I don't know.
The Thrasherman, where they have all these steam engines. Like
oh yeah. I've
steam
heard of the
engines
steam engine
and
thing.
tractors and
Yeah.
wheat thrashers and just all that kind of
Yeah.
stuff. There's a big
Yeah.
Thrasherman. I mean, a huge one up there. She always sings the national anthem for them.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, they have that big state ground there. They used to, I guess they still do. They used to have this big streetcar nationals where you get these like street legal cars and they drag race, you know, and all this. And used to be a lot of stuff going on up there. I guess there still is. I just don't hear about it as much since I don't, have local TV on playing commercials over and over again for the same things.
Yeah.
So, but well, Ken, man, this time goes by so fast. But I like to thank everybody for joining us here on the porch, on YouTube, and on the podcast. We really appreciate it. If you guys ever want to reach out, just send us a direct message on Instagram or Facebook. You can send us a Gmail at joinusontheporch@gmail.com. And we'll be back next week with another episode and maybe something new. Not sure. I hadn't talked to Ken about anything, but you just never know. We're just a couple of wild and crazy guys.
That's right. we never know what we're going to talk about. We figure it out along the way.
Yeah. Was it? I can't remember. Steve Martin. Was it Steve Martin and Dan Aykroyd in Saturday Night Live? We're just two wild and crazy guys.
That's right.
You know?
That's right. If you hadn't figured it out by now, Todd is like Johnny Carson, and I'm Ed. I get paid a lot to laugh at Todd's jokes.
Yeah.
Humor him. So
Yeah.
get paid a lot being his sidekick. So
I don't know about that. I was thinking I was the sidekick. So,
I don't know.
We'll figure that out. Maybe we're both sidekicks.
That's right. Maybe we're both the Johnnies. Johnny and Johnny.
That reminded me. You ever see the movie Sky High? With it's that the kids of superheroes go to high school. It's a Disney movie, and they divide them up between superheroes and sidekicks. And this one, as the kids get older, they get their superpowers, and they get on the bus first day of like high school or whatever. And this kid's like, I got my superpowers over the summer. And they're like, what is it? He goes, I can glow. And he's like, well, it's better in the dark.
I glow much better in the dark.
So
that's funny.
Yeah. But guys, just reach out. We'll be back. We got some plans getting our feet back under us, and we'd really appreciate a like, a review, a comment. All that goes to help. And like I said before, thanks again for joining us here on the porch. Ken, take us home.
Yeah, I want to thank everybody for listening to Todd and Ken on the Porch. And we're gone.